No more Twinkies? Now you know how the Woody Harrelson character felt like in the movie Zombieland. And by the way, if you haven't seen the movie Zombieland, it is really, really funny. But let me just tell you, make sure you stick around through the end credits. Make sure you stick around to the very end. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it does have a little bit of surprise. And of course, the movie also has a cameo performance from somebody that I think most of you will enjoy. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Saturday video report. I've got 4 free selections coming your way in just a moment. And let's run down who's hot and who's not. And then, of course, in between, I also have a money-saving discount coupon code that can save you potentially hundreds of dollars off your total purchase price today. Guys, Matt Rivers, as you know, normally a 500,000 star play is his max wager release. Last Friday, he had one with UConn outright over Pittsburgh. 2 Wednesdays ago, he had one with Bowling Green outright over Ohio. But last weekend, he had the first ever 750,000 star play of his career. It happened to be in the NFL, and how easy was it last Sunday when Seattle, laying 6.5 at home, rolled over the New York Jets 28-7. Well, today he's doing it again. First ever 750,000 star play in his career in college football. It's Purdue and Illinois. Again, had the first ever 750,000 star play in his career in the NFL on Sunday with Seattle over the Jets. This play is just as strong, and it's 50% bigger than those previous max wager 500,000 star releases I had told you about. So you might want to check out Matt Rivers. Meanwhile, Scott Delaney, biggest release of his career in college football, goes again today, and it's another 150 dime play from Scott Delaney. Listen, this is the guy that's on a 22-13 run with 100 dime plays. This play is stronger. You may recall 2 Sundays ago he had the first ever 150 dime NFL play of his career, and that was Tampa Bay, a 1-point road dog, winning by 10 at Oakland. Then last Saturday, he had the first ever 150 dime college football play of his career. He told you Rutgers would win by 3 touchdowns over Army. Final score, Scarlet Knights win it 28-7. Bingo, right on the money. Today, he has a single-digit chalk that he says will win by double digits. In fact, he predicts a 2-touchdown victory, which will give them the cover. He was right on the money with each of his last 2 plays. He told you the Bucs would win outright at Oakland. He told you Rutgers would win by 21, and bingo, they did last Saturday. Second ever 150 dime college play of his career. That goes today as well from Scott Delaney. Now, I tell you the good, I always got to tell you the bad. Shawn Michaels and I were both on the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night. We were both on Air Force last night. That didn't turn out too well. I mean, my God, did Air Force turn back time, the clock? Turn back the clock. That's what I meant to say. Did they turn back the clock? I mean, I thought I was watching like Nebraska run the option back in 1971 or something again. Did not attempt a pass against a Hawaii team that only had a win against Lamar this season. Hey, look, if it got you bowl eligible, congratulations to you. But that ain't good when you're laying 22.5 points. You know what I mean? So they failed to cover. But here's the deal. You know, Shawn Michaels had hit consecutive 100 dime plays on his MAC teaser on Northern Illinois and Ball State on Wednesday night, and a 100 dime play on the Buffalo Bills last night. And despite losing with Air Force last night, here's the bottom line. $10 bettors in football, college and pro combined, are still up $8,175 over the past 3 years. And why do I tell you the good and the bad? Because I believe in total transparency, guys. Because if I can tell you the good, I think you deserve to know the bad as well. And when the bad means that particular handicapper is only up $8,100 in football the past 3 years, that ain't too bad. So I told you the 2 hottest handicappers at the site. I gave you both of their rundowns, those being, of course, Scott Delaney and Matt Rivers. You might want to check out Jeff Benton, who's been a red-hot 7-week run now for Jeff Benton. You can see the numbers for him as well. Now, let me give you a money-saving discount coupon code that can save you 20% off your total purchase. For those of you that are regular followers, you know I do this every single Saturday. I've been doing it for almost a year now. The deal is it'll save you 20% off your total purchase price, and it's a great mix and match type of coupon. Because, for example, Scott Delaney, I've told you what he's been doing for you lately. Let's say you wanted to get his big play today. It's $89.95. Well, guys, it'll take 20% right off the top. It takes almost $18 off the top. Or let's say you want to make a long-term commitment to a guy like Scott Delaney. His 30-day package right now costs $449. You would be able to take 20% right off the top. You would save over $88 off your purchase price. This is a mix and match coupon. You can buy Handicapper A, Handicapper B, Handicapper C. You can buy a single day's plays, a 30-day package, a 60-day package. It doesn't matter. It's 20% off your total purchase price. The only caveat is you've got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time in order to make the coupon get its maximum value. So in other words, you can't come in and buy Matt Rivers' big play today and then 2 hours later come back and buy Scott Delaney's play and use the 20% coupon again. Put everything in your shopping cart at one time, takes 20% off your total purchase price, and the coupon is, I guess the band isn't here again. No drum roll today. It is 20 November, 20 November, 20 November. I was going to make it 20 Twinkie. But one, that sounded strange, and two, it was tried to say that 3 times quickly, and 3, for all you Twinkie lovers out there, I didn't want to really upset your apple cart, or should I say your ding-dong cart, or your Twinkie cart, or your ho-ho cart. I mean, ho-hos, aren't they made by the same people that make Twinkies and ring-dings? I think so. Hey, I don't need them. What can I tell you? Anyway, 20 November, 20 November. First time in 3 days I spelled that correctly. 20 November. No space between 20 and the word November, and that will save you 20% off your total purchase price. Let's get to your first free pick. It is going to be Kansas State minus the 12.5 points against Baylor. You know, at this time of year, you're looking for a couple of things. Teams that need another win to become bowl eligible. Teams that are coming off a devastating loss that hurts their possible postseason chances in terms of where they finish in their conference, in terms of making the championship game. Or teams that plummeted in the standings because they're coming off a horrible loss. Or teams that are coming off a loss or a big game against a rival. The other thing you have to always factor in at this point in the season is teams that have to impress the pollsters. Not only impressing the computers, if you can impress a computer, but also impressing those normal or good old-fashioned human beings that vote for them in the various BCS polls. And therein lies the case with Kansas State today. Listen, Kansas State needs to win impressive, just like Oregon needs to win impressively, just like Notre Dame has to kick some ass as well. You know, a 4-point win isn't going to do it. So I'm going to go with Kansas State, laying the points against Baylor. Yes, K-State looked a little lethargic last week, 23-10 in the win at TCU. But remember, there is no look-ahead game here for the Wildcats. Their next game isn't until their season finale back on December 1st against Texas. They come into this game 10-0 straight up, 8-2 against the spread. They've covered 17 of their last 22 regular season contests. Baylor's coming off a 42-34 loss to Oklahoma. The Bears are 1-5 in their last 6 games straight up. They are giving up an average of 520 yards a game, an average of 39.4 points a game. And Kansas State's only laying like 12.5, 13. Go with the Wildcats in that contest. Last Saturday, I gave you Clemson laying 32.5 points against Maryland. Bingo, they covered. Hey, they're getting a bargain basement discount price today. They're only a 17-point home chalk over NC State, and they're playing in revenge because last year in College Park as a 7.5-point road favorite, the Tigers got crushed 37-13. I say they rebound today. They've won 6 in a row straight up. They've covered 7 straight. Most impressively, though, they've only allowed 60 points defensively in their last 4 games. They've scored 37 or more points in 9 straight games. They are in a second of a 3-game homestand to conclude the season. Of course, they take on arch rival South Carolina in Death Valley next week, but still, they're playing in revenge, and I like them in this particular spot. So I'm going to go with them over an NC State squad that is 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 4, and Clemson is going to be the pick in that one. Before I get to your next play, which is going to be on Penn State and Indiana, let me just remind you guys, free fantasy football contest here. Every single week we do it. It's free to enter. $500 in total prize money. You can see the ads here on the site. You click on them. Top 20 finish in the money. $125 first prize. Again, top 20 finish in the money. Free fantasy football league contest. This is not like your old-fashioned fantasy or rotisserie leagues that you have to wait till the end of the season. This contest is over after the Monday night game between the Bears and the 49ers. The winners are announced on Tuesday. So you've got until Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, to finalize your rosters. My suggestion is you go ahead, you put the rosters together today, and then you wait to see player injury updates, etc., that you'll find everywhere on Sunday morning. It's the big thing now, giving you updates for the injuries for fantasy league players. So again, click on the ads, free to enter. If you entered last week, it's free to enter again. Go ahead, keep doing it. Tell your friends, it's free. Top 20 finish in the money, $125 first prize. Penn State this season is on a 7-2 ATS run, and the only two losses in that stretch came at home against Ohio State and last week at Nebraska, a game which they lost 32-23. I really thought they could hold on and win that game, but the Cornhuskers came back. Now, Indiana last week was playing a big game at home against Wisconsin. And believe it or not, Indiana, for as bad of a season it's had, actually had a slim glimmer of hope to perhaps, win their division in the Big Ten, because Ohio State and Penn State are both ineligible this year for bowl play and for playing in the conference championship game. What happened? Wisconsin comes into Bloomington, runs for 564 yards, rolls in that game 62-14. So much for Indiana's two-game winning streak, which came against Illinois and Iowa. I call it the three I's of the Big Ten. As in, I will kick your ass if I play you. Illinois, Iowa, and Indiana, the three worst teams to me in the Big Ten. And I think Penn State will certainly prove it today. This is an Indiana team that lost against Navy, gave up 31 points, gave up 52 points to Ohio State, 31 points to Michigan State, 44 points to Northwestern, 41 points to Ball State, and 62 last week to Wisconsin. Need I say more? Why I like Penn State at home in this contest, laying the points, and the lines come down. The line has come down in this game. It was 18.5 earlier this week, and it's come down to about 1.5 points. So all the more, I like them in this spot. Last free pick. I was torn between going with Arizona State, which looks to snap a 4-game losing streak and needs a win today to become bowl eligible, or Miami of Florida at home. And I decided to go with Miami of Florida because I rode them a couple of weeks ago as a free pick at home when they upset Virginia Tech. Now, last week, of course, they went on the road and they lost in the last second, 41-40 in Charlottesville to Virginia. But now they're back at home. And they have covered 4 straight games at home. They need this win, again, to become bowl eligible as well. It's a non-conference game. It's against South Florida. South Florida minus its starting quarterback, B.J. Daniels, who broke his leg a couple of weeks ago. South Florida's coming off a bye. They did beat Connecticut 13-6 in their previous game, but I had to write the numbers down here. Before that Connecticut game, in which they only allowed 6 points, the Bulls had allowed 37, 27, 37, 30, 31, 23, and 31 points in their previous 7 games. That's a hell of a lot of points to give up. And Miami, as we know, can score, okay? 40 last week against Virginia. Remember what they did against Virginia Tech at home a couple of weeks ago? So I'm going to go with them. I'm kind of surprised the line has come down because early in the week, Miami of Florida was a 7.5-point favorite, but you can book them from 6, some 6.5s out there, but you can find a 6 on this game, guys. So I like Miami of Florida, and that's your final free pick for today to go along with Penn State, Georgia Tech, and Kansas State. So that'll do it. Best of luck to you. 20 November. We'll save you 20% off your total purchase price. Do it. Save some money. Talk to you again on Sunday.